Poland is building a single airport that doesn't just handle flights, but also serves as the heart of a 2,000-kilometer high-speed rail network stretching across the country and beyond. That's the plan for the Solidarity Transport Hub, CPK, a $9 billion megaproject aiming to connect Warsaw to Berlin, Prague and the Baltic states at record speeds. With a capacity of 100 million passengers per year, more than Heathrow and Charles de Gaulle combined, it's Poland's boldest infrastructure gamble yet. But behind the grand vision lies controversies and challenges, from soaring costs to political battles. And beyond transportation, this project has a strategic role in Poland's defense. So is this airport truly necessary, or just an overambitious gamble that could spiral out of control? Poland's journey to becoming a major aviation player started decades ago. For years, Warsaw Chopin Airport has been the country's main international gateway. Located just 8 kilometers from the city centre, it's Poland's busiest airport. But there's a big problem. It's running out of space. Designed to handle 22 million passengers a year, the airport was already pushing 19 million in 2019. And with air travel bouncing back post-pandemic, it won't be long before Chopin reaches its absolute limit. So why not just expand it? That's where things get tricky. When the airport was built in 1934, it was on the outskirts of Warsaw, but over the years the city has grown around it, leaving no room for new runways or terminals. And it's not just space that's the issue. Strict noise regulations limit nighttime flights, making it even harder for the airport to keep up with demand. This isn't a new issue. Since the 1970s, Polish authorities have discussed the need for a new centralized airport, one that could either replace or complement Chopin. Over the years, countless feasibility studies have been conducted, with some experts arguing that improving regional airports would be a better solution. But in 2005, the government commissioned an official feasibility study, but the project stalled due to a lack of political consensus. A major turning point came in 2017 when Poland's ruling Law and Justice (PiS) party greenlit an ambitious project, the Solidarity Transport Hub (CPK). This was a bold vision to completely reshape Poland's transportation landscape. Unlike Chopin Airport, which is constrained by its urban surroundings, CPK would be built 40 kilometers west of Warsaw in Baranów, where there was ample space for expansion. But this project was about more than just air travel. The vision for CPK was to integrate Poland's road and rail networks into a single, seamless transport system, ensuring efficient connections for both passengers and cargo. At its core was a high-speed railway network spanning nearly 2,000 kilometers, connecting all of Poland's major cities and extending beyond its borders to Berlin, Prague, and the Baltic states. And the scale? Once fully operational, CPK could handle up to 100 million passengers per year, putting it in league with Europe's busiest hubs. If it works as planned, every major city in Poland will be within 2.5 hours of the hub by train. The country will be positioning itself as a central transit gateway for all of Central and Eastern Europe. But what makes CPK different from other mega airports? Covering 3,000 hectares, this massive project will integrate air, rail and road networks into one seamless hub. At the center of it all is a brand new mega airport designed to handle 40 million passengers a year right from the start. That's twice the size of Berlin-Brandenburg Airport. But the real game changer is its modular expansion plan, which allows it to grow over time. With future upgrades, the airport will eventually accommodate up to 100 million passengers per year, putting it on the same level as Frankfurt and Istanbul. Size alone isn't the only impressive feature. The airport will launch with 2 parallel runways, each stretching 4,000 meters long and 45 meters wide. These massive runways are built to handle the world's largest aircraft with ease. And the expansion doesn't stop there. Plans are already in place to add 2 more, turning CPK into a 4-runway powerhouse. But this isn't just about air travel. A high-speed railway station will be built directly into the airport, making travel between CPK and Poland's major cities incredibly fast. A direct train will connect the airport to Warsaw Central Station in just 15 minutes. The journey to Lodz will take only 25 minutes, while major cities like Krakow, Wrocław, Gdansk and Poznan will be reachable in under 2.5 hours. And in the future, high-speed rail links will stretch even further, connecting CPK to Berlin, Prague and the Baltic states. Of course, a project of this scale needs world-class design. Some of the biggest names in architecture competed for the chance to shape it, including Foster & Partners, Zaha Hadid Architects, Grimshaw and Chapman Taylor. In the end, the winning design came from Foster & Partners, working alongside Buro Happold. Their vision is a modular, scalable structure that allows for future expansions without disrupting airport operations. The terminal, railway station and multimodal interchange will merge into one integrated structure, reducing passenger transfer times and creating a stress-free travel experience. The sustainable design incorporates renewable energy sources, smart traffic management and extensive greenery, drawing inspiration from Poland's Campinos forest to create a natural, relaxing atmosphere inside the terminal. So how does a new airport play a role in global defense? And why is Poland investing so heavily in this project? Since the war in Ukraine began, the importance of infrastructure in national defense has become clearer than ever. Poland and NATO are now looking at transportation hubs not just as civilian assets, but as key military resources. That's exactly why CPK is designed as a dual-use facility. In peacetime, it will serve as a commercial airport, handling millions of passengers and cargo shipments. But in times of crisis or conflict, it can quickly transform into a military logistics center. NATO has already identified CPK as a critical part of its strategy to secure the alliance's eastern flank. With its massive cargo capacity and high-speed connections, this hub could be a game-changer. It would allow NATO to rapidly move troops, military equipment and humanitarian aid to Eastern Europe. In a crisis, speed is everything. And CPK could provide exactly what NATO needs to respond quickly to rising threats. But there's more. Strategically, this project extends beyond Poland. The Solidarity Transport Hub will strengthen the Baltic-BLACK Aegean Sea transport corridor, making it easier to move supplies and personnel across key regions. And there's the proposed high-speed rail link between Warsaw and Lviv, Ukraine. If built, it will create a vital backup route for military and humanitarian logistics, especially if air travel becomes restricted during a conflict. Beyond defense, CPK is poised to strengthen Poland's role in European trade and logistics. Positioned at a crossroads between Western and Eastern Europe, it aims to divert cargo flows currently handled by German hubs like Frankfurt and create a new gateway for international trade. Despite its ambitious scope, the Solidarity Transport Hub, CPK, faces major roadblocks that could decide whether it becomes a game-changing megaproject or an over-ambitious financial burden. So, what's standing in its way? Since its approval in 2017, CPK has been the pride of the Law and Justice PIS party. But after Poland's 2023 elections, everything changed. The new Civic Coalition government took office and started asking big questions. Does Poland really need an airport this massive? Would it be better to upgrade the airports it already has? At first, there was serious doubt about whether the project should move forward at all. But in June 2024, the government finally made a decision. The airport would still be built, though some parts of the plan might change. The high-speed rail network, which was supposed to connect directly to the airport, might now focus on linking Poland's biggest cities instead. Leadership changes have also slowed things down. In early 2024, the CEO of CPK was dismissed, and the new government put its own commissioner in charge. This led to a deep review of the project's finances, contracts and planning. With construction now pushed to 2026 and an opening date delayed to 2032, uncertainty remains over how the project will evolve under the new administration. When CPK was first proposed, the estimated cost was $9 billion. But as plans grew to include a massive high-speed rail network, the price soared to $30 billion, That's a huge jump. So where is all this money coming from? The budget breaks down like this: $10 billion for airport infrastructure and $20 billion for 2,000 kilometers of new high-speed railway lines. To pay for it, the Polish government plans to cover 60% through debt and loans, while the remaining 40% will come from private investors, including Vinci Airports and South Korea's Incheon International Airport Corporation. Supporters argue that CPK will bring big economic benefits in the long run, but critics see trouble ahead. A project this massive comes with financial risks, especially with delays and shifting political priorities. There's also the big question: will private investors stick around, or will they back out as uncertainties grow? And then there's the local opposition. The new airport is planned for Baranov, but many people there don't want it. In a 2018 referendum, a staggering 84% of voters opposed the project. The vote wasn't legally binding, but it sent a strong message. Locals were not happy. Their biggest concerns? Losing their homes, noise pollution, and land being taken away. Despite this, by December 2024, CPK had already secured over 1,000 hectares of land, 40% of the total area needed. Some residents sold their properties willingly, but not everyone is on board. Many refuse to leave, arguing they are being forced out for a project that may never even be finished. But what about the environment? That's a big concern too. Activists worry that building CPK and increasing air traffic could harm local ecosystems. A project this massive isn't only about runways and terminals, it means more roads, more buildings, and more emissions. Could all this construction go against Poland's climate commitments? CPK's planners say they have a plan. They promise to use renewable energy, add green spaces, and take steps to reduce carbon emissions. But critics aren't convinced. They argue that no amount of sustainability efforts can fully make up for the environmental damage a project this big could cause. And then there's another big question: does Poland really need a brand new airport? Some believe there's a better way. Instead of spending billions on CPK, why not improve the airports Poland already has? Warsaw Chopin Airport, while getting crowded, could still be expanded and modernized. And what about regional airports? Cities like Krakow, Wrocław, Gdansk, and Katowice already have airports that could take on more flights. Would upgrading these airports be a smarter, more balanced solution? Critics say spreading out investments could strengthen air travel across the country without putting all resources into one mega project. But supporters of CPK see things differently. They believe Poland needs a world-class aviation hub, one that can compete with giants like Frankfurt and Amsterdam. A single, central airport, they argue, would make Poland a stronger transit hub for both passengers and cargo. And in the long run, they say, that could be a huge boost for the economy. With political uncertainty, soaring costs, local resistance, and environmental concerns, CPK's future remains uncertain. While supporters believe it will position Poland as a major aviation and logistics hub, skeptics warn that delays, budget overruns, and shifting political priorities could derail the project. The question remains: can Poland successfully complete one of the biggest airport projects in Europe, or will CPK remain an overambitious dream? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe to Ultimate Mega Builds, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on mega projects like this one.